Okay, now where's my pen? Okay, now ethanol metabolism increase NADH and NAD ratio in the liver, because all of these metabolisms, you need to remember one thing: all the metabolisms are going in liver. The organ is liver, but then if we divide this liver into liver cell, let's say this is liver. Okay, let's say I've drawn a liver over here, and I have taken one cell of this liver, which we call hepatocyte. Okay, in this one cell, we have cell organelles. So when I talk about cell organelles, you will be hearing few things, few names. First is mitochondria. Okay, I'm not writing the complete name. First is mitochondria. Second is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, or you can say cytosol also. Okay, cytoplasm. And number three, both. Like both mitochondria and cytoplasm. So students, please remember this thing. All the metabolisms are going on in liver. The organ is liver. Okay, and when I take one cell of liver, like liver cell is called hepatocyte. Okay, so in a cell we have cell organelles and we have cytoplasm. Okay, so mitochondria and cytoplasm, in these two areas of your cell, the metabolic pathways are going on. You will study some of the names in only in mitochondria, some of the names only in cytoplasm, some of the names in both mitochondria and cytoplasm. So make yourself clear. Okay, but then when I talk about this ethanol metabolism, you see, there is mitochondria, there is cytoplasm, but there are two other things also. But the main reaction is this. Okay, the main reaction is this. This is the main reaction. This is not the main reaction. This is not the main reaction. So again, you see, we have cytosol and we have mitochondria. So please remember these things. Okay, ethanol is converting to acetaldehyde in cytosol. Okay, but acetaldehyde, the acetaldehyde is formed in cytosol, but it is entering into mitochondria, and acetate is formed in mitochondria. So please remember. Okay, please remember these little things. They are the MCQs. Okay, now all of this thing, all of this thing, all of this thing, this whole thing. Okay, let's say this whole thing is a liver cell. This is a liver cell. Okay, this whole thing is a liver cell. This is cytoplasm, and this is mitochondria. Now you're getting, and this reaction is also going on in cytosol, and this reaction is also going in mitochondria. But if I talk as a whole, this reaction is going in a liver cell, right? So that's what written over here, that ethanol metabolism increase NADH to NAD ratio, because you know there is constant conversion going on in liver. I think now you're clear. Okay, causing, now what are these steps? So let's focus on these steps. So the steps are lactic acidosis. As I told you, the fate of pyruvate is a conversion to lactate. Okay, let's go back to our book. I'm showing you again and again these pictures because it is better to grab when you see charts and when you see pictures. So you see, pyruvate is converting to lactate. So one of these steps is this: increase pyruvate conversion to lactate. Then fasting hypoglycemia. So these are like In what conditions do these happen? When you have this lactic acidosis condition, like in your body you are oxygen deprived, and I told you all the scenarios of it. So in that condition your pyruvate is converted more to lactate. But when your body is deprived of glucose, when you have hypoglycemia, when you are in a fasting state, just as in Ramadan, when we are fasting, okay, we take our meal early at 4:30 or 4:15, and then the whole day we fast, and like by the time of Maghrib we are all, you know, like with low energy, but we are not dying. Are we dying? No, we are not dying. We are able to survive because of these stores that are present in our body. So what is happening when the blood sugar level is low? Okay, in the fasting state, when the blood sugar level is low, your your pathway of formation of glucose is this pathway of gluconeogenesis, the formation of glucose via lipid and via protein, okay, is decreased, okay, and your pathway of glycolysis, that is breakdown of glycogen, is increased. So please remember these concepts, okay. In a fasting state, the stored carbs will be breaking down. The stored carb is glycogen. So glycolysis will be more and gluconeogenesis will be less. When we see gluconeogenesis, when your stored form of carbohydrate is utilized, and now you need more and more glucose, okay. So the first thing that will happen will be glycolysis, but the second thing that will be happening in fasting state will be gluconeogenesis, okay. So you will be using, I just take the example that uh, you want to create something from paper, okay. You are doing some artwork and you want papers, okay. Now first of all you will take fresh papers, okay. You have a bundle of fresh papers which are not used, and you will use that. But then you are like, you have utilized all your fresh papers and you have done your artwork, but now you still need more papers. So you have some other papers in spare, okay, that are not fresh, okay, that are you know, of something else, like of newspaper or a magazine, but your concern is only a paper. Your concern is not from where it is coming from, okay. So then you will go to scratch. You will use fresh, you will use the same product, and then you will go to scratch. So just take gluconeogenesis as a scratch for our body. First of all, in order to make glucose, we will break down glycogen in fasting state. But when it's all done, it is utilized, we need other resources, and that other resources is proteins and lipids, okay. I think I'm making you clear at this point. So you see, when your ethanol metabolism increases, okay, in this fasting hypoglycemia state, there is a decrease of gluconeogenesis, as I told you, because you see this oxaloacetate is converted to malate more. There are two pathways where oxaloacetate will go. It can go to gluconeogenesis and it can be converted to phosphoenol pyruvate, and then the cycle will move upward and glucose will be formed. It can be, it is you it can be go over there. But when we are in a fasting hypoglycemia state and the ethanol metabolism is going on, we are converting this oxaloacetate more into malate, and this malate will go to TCA cycle. It is running in the TCA cycle, and then this TCA cycle will give us ATPs. Okay, people? So please understand what we are doing. Okay. Then number third is ketoacidosis. Ketoacidosis is when your pH Your normal blood pH is 7.35 to 7.45. Okay, this is your normal blood pH. When your pH is low than 7.35, you are in acidic state. Your blood is acidic then. When you go from 7.45 and above, you are in a basic or alkaline state. Okay, and when you go below 7.35, you are in acidic state. What happens in ketoacidosis is your blood pH is less than 7.35, okay, and your pyruvate is converted. Let me change the color. Your pyruvate is converting more and more into this lactate. Your body is deprived of oxygen. Your pH is less than 7.35, okay. Because your body is deprived of oxygen, your bicarbonate levels are more, okay, and you go into this anion gap metabolic acidosis. In this condition, you will be making ketone bodies because there is this pathway going on and there is this pyruvate converting into acetyl CoA, and because your body is already in acidotic position, your acetyl CoA will make more and more keto acids, more and more fatty acids, and your ketogenesis will be going on into your body. So you see, all of them are interconnected and interrelated. So you have to understand these mechanisms. The first mechanism was lactic acidosis that I told you, why it will happen. Okay. The another one is what happens when you are in a hypoglycemic state. What happens to your oxaloacetate? Okay, your pyruvate that is converted to oxaloacetate. Okay, that oxaloacetate will not be converting into PEP, but it will be converting into malate, and malate will going into TCA cycle, and then TCA cycle will giving you the ATPs for further processes in your body. Okay, so this was the second, and the third step will be your acetyl CoA will be converting into keto acids and increase fatty acids. Okay, so that ketogenesis will go on. Okay, rather than your TCA cycle. So acetyl CoA will not go here, it will go here. So if you see this diagram more clearly, all the dotted lines are not happening. These dotted pathways are not happening. What is happening is these red color ones. So they have also written it over here. If you see it, the key is given that all these red color lines you see, these are the pathways that are stimulated by NAD-NAD ratio, NADH-NAD ratio. And when you have an increased NAD-NAD ratio, when your ethanol metabolism is going on in liver, okay? When your ethanol metabolism is going on in liver, your NADH to NAD ratio will increase, and when this ratio will increase, pyruvate will be converting more into lactate, oxaloacetate will not form PEP and it will be converting to malate. Okay, we call it malate shuttle also. Okay, and your acetyl CoA will be converting into keto acids and fatty acids, so ketogenesis will be going on into your body. Okay, more and more keto acids will be forming. I will tell you in detail. We have 3 keto acids, and then when your fatty acids will be more, the lipogenesis cycle, the formation of lipids will increase. It will be converting into triglycerides, TAGs, and then it will be converting into glycerol 3 phosphate, and glycerol 3 phosphate again enters into your this cycle, but right now they are only showing you that what are the things that will happen when your this metabolism will increase. Okay, so please people understand this picture. This is a very important picture and these are very important points. Okay, now we have this fourth point, which is hepatosteatosis. Like hepatosteatosis means increased formation of lipids in liver. Okay, so this is the mechanism. Acetyl CoA will be converting into fatty acids. This fatty acids will be converting into TAGs, and TAGs will be forming glycerol 3-phosphate. Okay, if we go in a bit detail of it, you will see in this picture that you will see that this pathway is going on actually. This is your pathway. So where this glycerol is going ultimately, it is forming this product, intermediate product of fructose and glycolysis metabolism and fructose metabolism intermediate product, and then this intermediate product is entering into again your glycolysis cycle. So basically they are not telling you the details of it, they are just showing you right now that what are the things that will happen when your liver is doing this ethanol metabolism. Okay, but this metabolism do not go in people like us because we don't drink alcohol. So this metabolism is important for people who are, you know, alcohol addictives, and in west side, in like other eastern countries, for example, if we say in China, okay, people drink lots of alcohol. So this is these are all the things that we will see in a patient. The patient will come in the clinic with lactic acidosis, the patient will come in the clinic with low glucose levels, the patient will come in the clinic with so many in metabolic acidosis condition. Okay, you will do ABGs and then you will find that the patient is in metabolic acidosis. Okay, and the patient will be having more and more lipid metabolism going on. So the patient might be having some steatoria or other symptoms of increased lipogenesis. Okay, so I guess you understand. So increased conversion of DHAP, I just showed you DHAP. Okay, the intermediate product of fructose and glycolysis, and it will be converting to glycerol 3-phosphate, and that will again be, they have also written it over here. Okay, and that will again be going into this pathway. So so this is all the same thing written. Now they have like kind of made it into 2 steps. So the first thing will be acetyl CoA diverges into fatty acid synthesis. So one thing, and the other thing will be the combines with glycerol 3-phosphate to synthesize triglycerides. So it will be combining into this pathway to forming triglycerides. So these are the things. And then NADH and NAD ratio will be increased. So it will inhibit the TCA cycle. I told you that in TCA cycle, you get ATP directly or you get ATP via FAD. We will study TCA cycle, so don't like panic. So we will be studying it in too much detail already. So just understand that we are having ATP from 2 things, FAD or NADP, or we are getting it directly. So when you will study TCA cycle, you will see NADP a lot, you will see FAD, you will see GTP, you will see ATP. Okay, so FAD gives 2 ATP and NADP gives 3 ATP. Okay, so when already you have lots of NADP, you don't need ATP, right? So when you are having a lot of energy compound forming, what is the purpose of TCA cycle? What is the purpose of TCA cycle in your body? We are running this TCA cycle to get more energy, but we already have energy. We don't need it. So no TCA cycle. So that's what it is written. When you have an increased ratio of NAD, NADH, the TCA cycle will automatically inhibit. And when your TCA cycle will inhibit, this acetyl CoA will be shifted to this pathway. Okay, it will be shifted to ketogenesis, or it will be shifted to lipogenesis. So that's what they have written over here. So I think now you understand this whole ethanol metabolism. Is there any question you can ask me? If you have any question with this picture, with anything which is written over here, or with the charts, you can ask me. We will study this anion gap in pharmacology or in renal physiology. Okay, these are the topics, and they are very vast topics actually. So I am not covering those portions over here because they will ultimately come when you will be studying that. So, but the important things you need to remember for your MCQ purposes, please mark it down and note it. We can remember everything in the chart. You don't need to remember everything in the basically, if you see this chart in detail, or if you see this whatever thing is written over here, just understand that what they have written is what they have drawn. They are same. The chart is exactly the same to what they have written it over here. If you understand these pathways well, it will be easier for you to solve your MCQs more. Okay, so the only thing that you need to remember in this picture is the pathways, what are happening. So let's make it more easier, or let's make a very short summary of it. Okay, now with the word ethanol metabolism, you have to remember that there is increase NADH to NAD ratio. So when your NADH NAD ratio will be more, your TCA cycle will not work. Okay, this is a basic concept, because your NADH is giving you ATPs. Okay, one NADH give you 3 ATPs. So we are forming so many NADH in TCA cycle, and we are getting so many ATPs in TCA cycle. Okay, so now when we have sufficient amount of energy compound, we do not want TCA cycle. And when your TCA cycle will not work, this product acetyl CoA will be shifted to other pathways. It will not accumulate somewhere. Okay, it will do other work. So the other work will be ketogenesis and lipogenesis. So this is a common sense thing now. Okay, so now you understand that there are these two. So you have already learned number 3 and number 4 here now. You don't need to remember that acetyl CoA is forming fatty acid will form triglyceride will form this, and then this is the intermediate step. I'm only making you understand this thing. You don't need to remember this pathway. Only remember that when your NADH NAD ratio will be more, there will be no TCA cycle, and no TCA cycle means acetyl CoA will be shifted to other processes like ketogenesis and lipogenesis. That's it. Okay, and about the pyruvate, you have to remember 4 fates. First fate is lactate, second fate is oxaloacetate, third fate is acetyl CoA, and fourth fate is pyruvate is converting to acetaldehyde. Okay, and forming ethanol. So when your ethanol metabolism is going on, when you have this ratio more in your liver, and you are not directing towards acetyl CoA, your pyruvate will be shifted to this. Okay, and your pyruvate is not converting to acetyl CoA. It is not going in this step. So you are not forming this oxaloacetate from here. You are directly forming oxaloacetate from pyruvate, and because your TCA cycle is shut down, the gates are closed. So oxaloacetate will be converted to malate. Okay, and the quantity of malate will become more because the gate is closed. The gate is already closed. The gate is closed. It cannot go in TCA cycle. Similarly, the gate is closed. So the gates are closed. TCA cycle gates are closed. Okay. So this is how you need to make your concepts, and you need to remember. So if you remember like this, it will be easier for you. Okay, so you can make your own summaries. You can write your own key points, short key points. Okay, and like you can remember that way. So this is all about your I told you the MCQs for fomepizole and disulfiram, very important ones. I told you to remember 3 points for fomepizole, 3 points for disulfiram. Okay, and then in this chart you have to remember that this ratio will increase and it will stop TCA cycle, and when the gates will be closed, The acetyl-CoA will be shifted to other pathways, the pyruvate will be shifted to other pathway, the oxaloacetate will convert into malate, and malate will accumulate. It will not go further. Okay, so this is how you need to remember. And because your body is in fasting hypoglycemic state, the gate of gluconeogenesis is also closed. Because right now you are working with two things. You are working with ethanol metabolism, and you are dealing with the glycolysis. So you don't need gluconeogenesis too. You're getting my point. So this is how you will be understanding this whole scenario. Now, so this was basically the ethanol metabolism, and the start of your biochemistry metabolism is from here. Okay, so but ethanol is also very important, so I like kind of give that lecture to you. Now these are your metabolic sites, as I told you that in a liver cell you have to remember two names, mitochondria and cytoplasm. So some of the things are going in mitochondria, some of the things are going in cytoplasm, and some of the things are going in both. So both is easier to remember. Okay, now this is something you need to do ratta. There is no concept. There is no concept for mitochondria or cytoplasm or both. You have to learn it by heart. Okay, so they have given a mnemonic, hugs take two. Okay, so you can remember this mnemonic from your first aid book. So the word two refers both. Okay, and hugs refer heme synthesis, urea cycle, and gluconeogenesis. So learn this mnemonic for both. Now I will make you understand mitochondria and cytoplasm, how you will learn this. Okay, I have not made any mnemonic, but there is a very simple and easy way to remember. Now see, acetyl CoA production. Okay, acetyl CoA. Acetyl CoA is going into TCA cycle. TCA cycle. Okay, acetyl CoA production means obviously from pyruvate you are converting acetyl CoA. Okay, so this is step, and then acetyl CoA going into the whole TCA cycle, the circle cycle. Okay, I call it circle cycle. Okay, and then oxidative phosphorylation means we are talking about the electron transport chain further on. Okay, and the just remember oxidative phosphorylation or ETC. Okay, and then ketogenesis. So no TCA cycle, acetyl CoA will go into ketogenesis. Ketone bodies I'm writing. Okay, ketogenesis or formation of ketone bodies. Okay, and acetyl CoA can also go in fatty acid synthesis. So I'm just writing FA. Okay, fatty acid. So now you see, I have summarized your mitochondria in one diagram. How? Production of acetyl CoA from pyruvate. Okay, this P is pyruvate. Production of acetyl CoA from pyruvate. Acetyl CoA is entering into TCA cycle, so this complete TCA cycle. Then acetyl CoA can also form ketone bodies, so ketogenesis, and acetyl CoA can also form fatty acid synthesis, so fatty acid oxidation pathway. Okay, and then we have another high energy making pathway, which is electron transport chain. We also call it oxidative phosphorylation. Another name for ETC is oxidative phosphorylation. So all these high energy pathways are going on in mitochondria. So is it easier to remember now? You can make this chart and you can remember it this way. Okay, like this. So these are the ways to remember. So when you have a picture in your mind, it will be easier for you to remember rather than doing this ratification of everything, because biochemistry has so many other things to ratify. So try to make mnemonics, try to remember from pictures or cycles, or draw things. So just try to work on them so that you may remember it for a long time. Okay, then if we talk about cytoplasm, what else is remaining now is glycolysis, gluconeogenesis we have done, TCA cycle we have done, ETC we have done, fatty acid we have done, ketone bodies we have done. Okay, so what else is remaining? HMP shunt, hexose monophosphate shunt. Okay, synthesis of cholesterol, proteins. Okay, and then fatty acids and nucleotides. So this fatty acid synthesis and this is different. Okay, so we see both fatty acids in cytoplasm and mitochondria, but the degradation and the synthesis is different. So so we will be studying that in detail. So what else is remaining goes in cytoplasm. So if you remember both, and if you remember mitochondria, the else, what else is coming, just throw them into cytoplasm, because cytoplasm has more things. There are lots of things in cytoplasm going on, more than mitochondria. So this is how you can remember it in a very easier way. Remember Hugs, heme synthesis, urea cycle, gluconeogenesis for both, and all the energy pathways like formation of acetyl CoA, TCA cycle, electron transport chain, and then acetyl CoA going into ketone body pathway, ketogenesis, and going into fatty acid oxidation or fatty acid synthesis pathway. So just throw all these things to mitochondria, and whatever is left occurs in cytoplasm. So this is the way to learn this. I am sure you like can remember at least few names. So if you like focus on this, you will learn it like by heart. So these are your free MCQs. You will get MCQs from this chart. Okay, so this is an MCQ chart actually. You will get MCQ, 1 or 2 MCQs from here. So please learn it. Okay, and from tomorrow we will be studying these enzymes. This is a very important, like this chart and all other things. I know metabolism is very tacky, and it has a lot to understand also. So but inshallah we will be covering the metabolism before your exams. Okay, so you don't need to worry about your metabolisms. Okay, so here I am ending your lecture on of biochemistry, and tomorrow we will continue with the enzymes in carbohydrate metabolism pathways and fatty acids and others. And our next lecture will be of pharmacology today. Okay, we will be studying the synthesis of acetyl, synthesis of epinephrine, and the adrenergic drugs. Okay, agonist drugs from first aid book. So I will be posting the time. Maybe it will be 5:15 or 5:20. The lecture will start on pharmacology, and I will see you then. Okay, so if you have any question, you can also ask me in private on WhatsApp.